Hey, funny story. We were getting off the plane in Vancouver, and what do they call that thing? The gangway?
The jetty
The thing that sucks up against the side of the airplane?
Yeah.
Anyways, they let us off the plane, and everybody filed into that long chute thing, and then everybody stopped for like 15 minutes. We couldn't go anywhere. That's never happened to me on an airplane where you get stuck in that thing.
No, you usually get stuck going on.
Anyways, so I thought this is a good opportunity. Nobody can leave. I'm going to make everybody listen to me play the whistle. So I got out my whistle, and I was like, anyways, I was playing a beautiful melody, but then my backpack started to slip off my shoulder, and I was like, and then everybody
laughed.
Everybody started laughing at me in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How embarrassing. So that happened.
Yeah.
And then I had to stand there for another 5 minutes because it wasn't like we just walked immediately. So, anyways, that was fun. We're back from England. We got back Saturday night. Well, Sunday morning, early.
Yeah, I got home at midnight.
Yeah,
or later. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was late, but we got back. It was nice though because we got back, went to sleep. It was like 8 a.m. our time in England, and then it was midnight here. Went to bed. Woke up yesterday. We were a little tired, but then went to bed. Woke up, and now I feel like we're back to normal.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Oh, like 11. What time did you go to bed? Like 6 o'clock.
Like 6 o'clock. I fell asleep on the couch.
Oh yeah.
And then apparently my wife tried to wake me up and I wouldn't wake up.
Ooh.
And then I woke up at like 2 and then I went to bed.
She didn't try very hard, did she?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Well, hello everybody that's joining us. This is our once a quarter live stream that is open up to the world that is normally reserved for a specific group of people.
Patreons. Yeah, this is once a quarter for you guys, but we literally do this every single Monday morning for all of our top tier, all of our top tier patrons.
Yep.
So if you want this every Monday and we're goofballs and we talk about stuff, we play the tin whistle, we do a tool of the week, we do a whiskey of the week. Well, we switched the name of it to wet stuff of the week because we've gone outside of whiskey a few times.
Yeah.
But it's a whiskey this morning, so we'll talk about that. It's one I've never had before, so that's always fun. And then we do questions from you guys. So if you have questions, type them over there. Try and get to them. But there's a lot of you guys on here this time, so we'll see if we do.
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best.
So why were we in England? Maybe people know, maybe people don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know why we just got back from England, if you're one of our top tier patrons, another benefit is that twice a year we do a contest where you can submit your name and all your info, and we select somebody randomly, and we either fly out to your shop for a week and we build a project with you and help you along, whatever you want to build, or the next one, we're going to fly somebody out to our shop and we'll build something out here and we'll put you up in a hotel. We'll pay for your airfare and we'll pay for all the supplies and we'll build something and we'll give you a good time. It'll be great.
Yeah. I was nervous the whole entire time you were saying that.
I know. Well, ever since I was in England, I started talking like an Italian person.
It's a me.
It's a me. We build the big thing.
We built the bed inside the very tiny shop. Jesse. Yeah. Okay. Hey, today's a very special day for me. If you don't know me, my name's Craig. I'm Jason's. What am I?
You're the vice president of international relations
for Bourbon Moth, which is funny because we've only gone international once.
Well, true.
I mean, I have. You've gone international quite a few times. Anyway, today, a very special day. It's my middle child's 5th birthday.
Oh, happy
and you know what?
birthday.
I felt a little. Hold on. I felt a little bad
happy
because
birthday.
he woke up sick this morning, and I couldn't even say happy birthday to him this morning. So I thought maybe we could all collectively.
Sickness that he was deaf. Why couldn't you say happy birthday?
Yeah, he just blind and deaf. Woke up just like that. No, he was up all night with a fever, and you might get it. I'll try not to.
You know, I actually got really sick in England. The things we don't show you on camera. One of the mornings, Craig had to go do the filming because I couldn't even get out of bed. And I wasn't just being a baby. I was sick.
He's being a baby. But anyway, I thought maybe we could all collectively, we could just sing to Ollie. His name's Ollie. So everybody
I don't know how to play Happy Birthday, but I'm going to try.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday birthday, dear Ollie. Happy birthday to you. My little 5-year-old. I love you.
Ollie.
And yeah, Ollie. Hey.
Have a happy birthday.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
Bleep out every cuss word.
Yeah. With a tin whistle.
With a tin whistle. All right. Shall we dive in?
Shall we dive in? Who's got a question? Hit us with it.
Ray Rodriguez. Bam. He's used Rubio Natural. Came out nice. But wanted a little more shine.
Okay.
So could he then go back and apply Rubio Pure on top of Natural? Or do you think that it would need to be completely resanded and just finish with Pure?
No, you can put Rubio on top of Rubio. It'll have no problem adhering. That's an okay thing. The shine thing, you'll get a little more shine with the second coat. It's true. If you really want to bump up the shine, this is the best way to do it, is to then on top of the Rubio you already put on there, put a layer of their universal maintenance oil. That's going to increase the sheen by quite a bit. And here's a little helpful trick that they don't tell you on the bottle, but I learned this when I went over to the Rubio headquarters. If you take the Rubio maintenance oil and you add a little bit of the part B from the oil, so that is the activator, it's the clear stuff, you add a little bit of the activator to the maintenance oil, it'll increase the sheen by another like 20% on top of that. So that'll be the shiniest you're going to be able to get Rubio. The downside to using the maintenance oil on top of the Rubio is that you can't then apply more Rubio on top of the maintenance oil. So if you were going to ever want to apply more Rubio, you'd have to sand down through the maintenance oil to apply more Rubio. But if you're not planning on doing that, maintenance oil with a little bit of the activator, that'll increase the sheen, and you can always put more maintenance oil on top after that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Tim Jennings wants to know when your next river table build will be coming out.
Probably in 2020. Never. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That was off the dome.
I know. Yeah. I didn't even plan
Improv. At least Lincoln Street Woodworks is here for me.
Lincoln Street?
I got one fan. Hey, John.
It's John?
It's John.
I think it's John.
It's John.
Pretty positive. I'm going with John.
I'm calling him Lincoln.
Yeah.
Good guy. No, it's John.
John from Lincoln Street, if I'm not mistaken. Now, these facts are out of my memory, which is not great. I think he's teaching a class at Workbench Conference this year. So if you're going, go see his class.
And who else is teaching a class at Workbench Con?
Me.
This guy.
I get what you're doing there. But it's not just me alone. Me and Keith Johnson are tag teaming a class. That'll be fun. It's all about how all you need is your iPhone and nothing else, so don't let anybody tell you different. John might be teaching a class that tells you need more than an iPhone, but he's full of... anyways, yeah.
I saw what you did.
Yeah.
You bleeped out the word.
Yep.
Yeah,
me and Keith are teaching a class, and that's all you need is a phone. And we're going to show you how we do all of our videos with just a phone. So that's it.
Don't tell anybody.
Shh.
But that's what we use.
That's what we use.
Yeah.
Very professional operation over here.
Luke Walker, not to be confused with Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
get it?
I get it.
He wants to know how the treeless treehouse is coming. You want to give an update on that?
Yeah. It's been sitting for a while. So this is what happened. We were going to England. We had to have a few videos that were going to come out while we were in England because we had deals with sponsors. That's how we make money. Don't hate us. So we had to take a break from the Treeless Treehouse to do a few other smaller videos so that those would come out while we were in England. And also those videos were on cabinets that had to be done for a whole other project. Anyways, and then we got back from England. Next video is going to be our entire England trip. We're going to show you the bed that we built, the space that we built it in. That's going to be a whole fun video because that was interesting. And then after that, we're back into the treehouse. So this week, I'm editing the video, ordering stuff for the treehouse. Next week, we're diving in face first into the treehouse. We're doing the roof, the windows, the door, the siding, getting that thing knocked out. So be prepared. In a week from now, a lot more treehouse content. And it worked out perfect because by the time we get back to working on the treehouse, it's going to be raining and snowing.
I know. Well, it was 27 degrees on my way here this morning.
Yeah.
So at least it's kind of warm.
Yeah, so it'll be good.
Hey, as long as it's not like it was raining It was sloppy. It was sloppy.
It was.
Okay. This is a good question. Mads K. She says, she. I assumed, I don't know who Mads K is.
Hey,
I don't know.
We don't discriminate here.
The drawer slides you were using in your projects look really solid and durable. Bloom.
Mm-hmm. Bloom. Pronounced Bloom. Don't say Blum. I usually say Blum.
I know.
To make people mad.
They're a bit expensive. Could you elaborate on which projects you may use less sturdy drawer slides? Sturdy and pricey drawer slides. Like, where would you cut the corner on drawer slides?
The only place I would ever use less sturdy drawer slides is probably if you were going to build some like shop furniture, meaning like a workbench or something that you don't want to blow the bank and buy nice drawer slides. These horrible work tables that we're going to rebuild, they're not horrible. I mean, I do sell plans for these, so don't let me rephrase because we're trying to make money here. I have plans for these and they work great, but they are kind of what I would consider a more budget-friendly workbench. We're going to replace these and I'm going to use undermount because they just work so much better.
Yeah.
I think they're worth the price in every scenario. All right. I never personally will use another drawer slide. But if you're trying to save money and you just need things to open and close, you could do side mount or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a great segue into, hold on, wait for it. Our tool of the week. This is a smaller tool. I showed it in my last 2 videos, and it's actually pretty handy. Not sponsored by this company. We just like the tool. And that is this little piece of plastic. This is the Jig It undermount drilling guide from Rockler. Basically, when you do the Bloom undermount drawer slides, you have to drill a few holes. First, you got to pre-drill your holes for your clips that go on the bottom of your drawer box to clip into your drawer slides. And then you have to drill a hole on the back on either side that the tabs on the drawer slide into. And sometimes these can be hard to position. This jig takes all the guesswork out. The jig comes with 2 separate drill bits, one for your drawer clips with a little stop on it, and one for the bigger hole in the back for your little tab. And basically what you do is you set this on your drawer box like this. It perfectly positions on either side your hole for your tab. So you put it on one side, drill your hole, put it on your other side, drill your hole, and then you flip it like this, and it's got these holes in it, and you push it to one side, and you use this drill bit, and you drill out for your clip, and you push it to the other side, and you drill out for your clip, and then boom, you just screw everything on, and bam, it's done, just like that. Pretty genius little jig. So if you want to make your life easy doing undermount drawer slides, this jig is available on Rockler, and Craig will put a link to it in the video description.
Right after this. We're not quite organized enough to do that kind of stuff beforehand.
No.
So
yeah.
As soon as this is over, go back, rewatch. It'll be in the description.
Description. And that was our tool of the week.
All right. We got some patrons on here this morning. I thought I'd give them a shout out because normally they spend every Monday with us. We got Melissa, we got Mike Martinez, Ron Miller, and other people that when I see him, I'll say your name. But we also have a couple questions coming in from
the Patreons. Hit us.
All right.
Don't really do it.
I won't. Do you have any thoughts on the Laguna F2 table saw? I'll show you right here. Rockler sells it. F2 Fusion table saw.
You know what would make it better? If it was an F1 table saw. You know?
I see what you just did.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Craig got me really into F1 on this trip. I watched almost all the episodes of The Drive to Survive on the airplane, and now I'm pretty much an expert on F1. So
pretty much, yeah.
That's a thing. Feel pretty manly.
And as of last week, you were making fun of everybody that watched it.
I was, but then I watched it, and it was actually really good.
Really good. That's what I said. So it's an $1,800 table saw, and he's wondering if you had any thoughts on it. If you're gonna drop $1,800 on a table saw.
I will say I've never used a Laguna product in my entire life, so I'm probably not the best one to speak to that. I know that some people really like Laguna. They look cool. They're black like a ninja. So if you're going completely based off aesthetics, it's a sleek looking saw. $1,800 isn't a bad price for what that looks like. You could probably get something a little less expensive that would work just as well on Grizzly's website, but then it's going to be an ugly green color. You're not going to get the safety features that you'd get with a Harbor Freight saw like I have, where it won't cut your finger off. I don't know. I would try and maybe find someone that owns that saw, has used it, and pick their brain, because I'm not much help there.
All right. Brian Jones, also from Patreon, he says, the way I cook, so let's just assume he's a chef.
Okay.
The way he cooks is he looks at 1 million recipes to make his version of what he's making with a technique that he likes.
So he plagiarizes.
Basically.
Okay.
Do you work the same way or just rely on the standards and make the piece happen?
Are we talking about cooking or woodworking?
I think we're going to transition from the cooking to the woodworking.
Okay.
So, but
Got
you
it.
know, you get the idea.
So that was like an example of, all right. So when I build, do I look at a bunch of other things and then
like, where do you, because I mean, he looks at recipes, 1 million of them, and then makes his own dish with his own flair.
So by the time you eat, it's like 10 o'clock at night and everyone's hungry, mad, angry.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm the worst when it comes to like pre-designing stuff. Half the time when I start building, I don't have a design. I just start building. Now, this isn't good because a lot of times you run into issues that could have been sorted out before if you would have taken the time to plan. But that's just not how I do it. I just kind of start doing it. And the design is what it is.
Yeah.
There's a few standard things I've adopted over the years. When I do cabinets, lots of people ask what thickness of a face frame do I normally do? And I always do 2 1/4 inches. I don't know why. At some point, I just decided that was a good width, and I've done it forever now. I don't know where that came from. It just happened. So there's little things that are standard now because that's the way I've always done it, but it doesn't mean they're right. It really depends on what you want your piece to look like and if it's functional.
Okay.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Sweet. Hey, we got a lot of people on here. We got people from the Netherlands, Czech Republic, Canada, Greece, Belgium.
Canada. Can I just pick I got a bone to pick with Canada.
Is it going to be about Stroll?
Well, let's just say that Stroll's a joke and he's kind of full of himself, but no, that's not it. My bone is we were at the Vancouver airport and we had a 5-hour layover, something like that, 4-hour layover. We went to a bar called the Canucks Bar and Grill, and I ordered fries. And because I'm an American, I dipped my French fries in ranch dressing. So I asked for some ranch dressing at your local establishment, and Canadian ranch dressing is weird. It basically tasted like someone took some mayonnaise and put some black pepper in it and called it ranch dressing.
No, it was more like mayonnaise and buttermilk with black pepper.
It wasn't good, though. It didn't taste like ranch dressing.
And it was yellow.
Yeah. So what I want to know, is that normal in Canada that your ranch dressing tastes like pea water? Or was that just a restaurant thing? Because I don't want to blame all of Canada if that was just that specific restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go towards. We're gonna answer tons more questions, but I need a drink.
Oh, you need a drink?
We do a nice little. Actually, while you're doing this, name your top 3. Somebody asked about your top 5 whiskeys. Let's narrow it down to 3. Let's just do your
top 3 whiskeys. It changes all the time. People always ask what my favorite whiskey is, and I say, I don't know. I haven't tried them all. I feel like I can't say what my favorite is until I've tried every whiskey on the planet. But right now, in this very moment, if you were to ask me, my top number 1 whiskey.
What's your top number 1 whiskey?
Is Old Fitzgerald 13-year. All of Old Fitzgerald stuff is really good, but their 13-year somehow is just freaking fantastic right now. After that, close second would probably be Jameson 18. I know Jameson doesn't get very much credit in the whiskey world. People consider Jameson somewhat to be like a lower shelf whiskey, but that's the standard Jameson. If you go buy a bottle of the Jameson 18, it's a little spendy, comes in a very nice finger jointed oak box. It's amazing. Absolutely, hands down, amazing.
It's one of my faves.
Yeah. And then number 3, I'd probably have to go with the E.H. Taylor, probably single barrel. Yeah.
Which you can't find.
Yeah. The small batch, I have 2 bottles of that right now. You can find that. The single barrel is hard to find.
What do we got this week?
This week, we have a new one. I just grabbed it off the shelf at the local liquor store. Never had it before. Maybe you guys have. It's called Noble Oak Double Oak Rye. So it's a rye. Let's see. It's a product of the USA. It is finished in port wine casks. Let's see where this thing's coming from. It's distilled in Indiana. Indiana, known for their quality whiskey, apparently. And it's bottled by the Noble Oak Spirits Company out of Newtown, Ohio. So we got all the big names there, Indiana and Ohio. When people think of whiskey, they think Indiana and Ohio, right?
Yep.
So we'll give this a try. Tell you what we think. I want to say, I like to tell you the price. This was like $35 maybe, so it's not super spendy for a bottle.
It's very dark.
There you go. It is very dark. It's probably from the port casks. Yeah.
Port. Oh, it's just sherry.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. And to everybody else. Ooh, yeah.
Very orangey. Do you smell that orange?
Yep.
Wow. That is it is 48% alcohol, so not super high, but for the low alcohol content, I say it's a little hot. It bites pretty hard. Not super smooth for only being 48%.
But it is, you can taste the wine.
You can taste the wine.
Sure.
It's not bad.
No.
I probably wouldn't buy another bottle, but
that's always the test. Would you buy it again?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
There's other things for $35 that I think are better.
Yeah.
And to Craig's house it goes.
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Okay. Let's dive into another question, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
All right.
I might have to sneeze at some point.
That's okay.
I got that feeling like I got to sneeze, but it's not quite, to the point where I can sneeze yet.
Yep.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. What's the worst shop injury that you've ever had?
That I've ever had. Knock on for Micah.
Yeah.
The worst shop injury I ever had, I've been pretty fortunate. There are two that come to mind. One was a splinter, believe it or not. You don't associate splinters with horrible shop injuries, but I had a really bad splinter one time where it went in one side of my finger and it came out the other side.
It's more like a shard.
Yeah, but it wasn't huge. It was still pretty skinny. It just managed to go. It was literally sticking out both sides of my finger. And I had to grab tweezers and grab onto it and pull it all the way through my finger. That wasn't very fun. I actually, before I pulled it out, I got out the camera and took a video of it. So if you scroll far enough back on Instagram, you'll find the video of me pulling that thing all the way out of my finger.
Oh, gosh.
That was one. And then the other one was when I was doing tools or products that aren't invented, that should be invented. I was trying to make a pair of stool pants, which is basically a pair of pants where there's a stool attached so you can sit down wherever you want.
Why not?
And I was trying to screw my pants to the stool and the driver slipped off. This wasn't a drill bit. It was a Phillips head driver. Slipped off. I don't know how I was holding the screw in a way that this was even possible, but the driver slipped off and it went, was it this hand? I think it was this hand. The Phillips head driver went all the way through my hand. So in one side, out the other. And I had to pull it out. That hurt a lot. I bounced off the bone and did a bunch of nerve damage and I couldn't feel the whole side of my finger for a few months. And I worked the rest of the day, and it wasn't until I went inside at night and my hand was all swollen and bloody, and my wife was like, "What happened?" And I explained it, and then she made me go to the hospital. Stupid. They gave me antibiotics so it wouldn't get a bone infection. Lame.
That's dumb. Not like you need your hands anyway.
Yeah.
I got a cut once on probably my worst injury was on the stinking river table that we built, because the epoxy, when it cures and we were trying to break the form off, it had the really sharp edge and just went.
Which is why you should never work with epoxy.
Should never work with epoxy. Okay. Yeah.
That's it, though. Really, I've been very, very lucky. So be safe out there.
Lamb1083 says, "Love your channel. My question to you is, if you had to choose one, would you choose a bench top planer or a bench top joiner?"
Planer.
That's hard to say. Why?
Planer all day long. Because you can get away without a joiner. You can do that in other ways. It's really hard to change the thickness of a board in multiple ways. So I would definitely say a planer, because you can even use a planer like a joiner. If you make a planer sled, you can face joint a board through a planer, no problem. And you can get a straight edge on a board on the table saw or with the track saw, a bunch of other ways. It's really hard to duplicate what a planer can do on other tools. So I would say if you only could get one, get a planer first, then get a joiner down the road.
Okay. Dennis without the D.
Ennis
says, "Your beard is looking sharp today, Jason."
Oh, thanks. You know my secret? I rolled out of bed and put a shirt on.
I also have a beard, Ennis.
Yeah, but yours doesn't look as sharp. Yours kind of looks
hey, it's a phone call.
Penciled on.
Oh,
Darn it. I love when we get phone calls.
All right. Melissa, she's also one of our
Melissa.
patrons. Yeah.
Patron.
She missed we did a live stream last week when we were in England, and she was really bummed because she missed it.
Yeah. And
I'm going to try to find her question on here, and I will sometime. And I can't find it. If I find it, I'll tell you what it is. But let's dive into one more.
Okay.
So let's go back to Rubio. When you finish a table.
Yep.
I can't remember who asked this, but I saw it in there. When you finish a table, how long until you can effectively eat on it, use it? Like, what's the waiting period for curing time?
Oh boy, I'm really bad with all this technical stuff. I want to say if you use the hardener, so that's the part B in the oil plus 2C, that they say it's 48 hours, I think, because the hardener, it lowers the cure time. If you don't use the hardener, I want to say it's like 72 hours-ish, somewhere in there. That's what I would say for furniture. For hardwood floor, it's different. They tell you like a week before they want you to like set stuff on it or walk on it. Mm-hmm. But I would say 72 hours. There was one time when I built a table for a client. I was in a super big rush. I put oil on there in the morning and I ran it over to their house in the evening and I dropped it off. And I didn't think to tell them, like, don't really do too much on this table. And the first thing she did was get out a wet rag and wipe the whole thing down. And it left these like smudgy, wet streaks over the entire thing. So I had to go pick up the table, bring it back, sand the whole thing down, refinish it. So you do want to wait. I would say at least 48 hours with the hardener. And if you're not using the hardener, read the label.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Found the question from Melissa. Yep. When making a custom piece of furniture for a client, because you used to do client work, no longer, but how detailed did you get with that client? Did you just take the basic specs and then build it to the best, what you think was best, or did they cover exactly how wide, how long, how deep, angles?
I would say it completely depends on the client. If you do client work long enough, you're going to get good at reading what kind of clients you have. And some clients they couldn't care less. They trust you and they think you're going to know what's best and will give you the freedom to just go make the piece and make it look good. Some clients are very, very specific, to use a nice word. And they're going to want everything mapped out down to the 16th of an inch on height and width and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And you just got to kind of read the client and try and decide if this is a very detailed person, then you're going to want to go over all that with them. If they seem pretty laid back, then you can get away with kind of doing more of your own decision stuff. I definitely would say don't make any major decisions without asking the client first, because you don't want to get in a situation where you spend all this time making something and then the client's like, I wish you would ask me about that. I.e. color or the overall design of the piece, things like that. You're going to want to check with the client.
That would be terrible to like build a whole piece and then you put the wrong finish on it.
Yeah. That kind of stuff you want to check with.
Yeah. Okay.
But if it comes down to like, I don't know, like the overhang on either end of a dining room table, should it be 12 inches or should it be 14 inches? I mean, that kind of stuff I don't normally ask the client. I just kind of make a decision. So.
Okay. Mortified wants to know. He said, for painted cabinet doors, why do you always use 1/4 inch plywood instead of 1/2 inch so the back of the doors are flush?
For the cabinet doors, I personally like the look of it being inset on both sides. So when you open the cabinet doors, it looks exactly the same as it does when you look at the front of the door. I think it looks nicer.
Okay. You
could use 1/2 inch, so it's completely flat on the back. I just think you get a weird transition from where the plywood goes onto your rail and style frame. And it's really hard if you're doing cabinet doors with 1/2 inch. And so you're basically doing a rabbet. So the front is inset and the back is flat. It's really hard to get that reveal perfectly even all the way around the outside. So I think it looks nicer to do a paneled look on the inside and outside. So I usually do 1/4 inch.
Nice.
But You said 1/4-inch plywood. A lot of the time, I would say more often than not, when I'm doing cabinet doors and drawer faces, I'll actually use MDF versus plywood.
Nice.
Because it paints nicer. If you're doing painted cabinets, it paints nicer than plywood.
What's your, this is a great segue because the next question I was going to ask is, do you work with MDF? From Matthew Ali. And he asked what the best, how strong was this?
48%.
48%. Okay. Best method for painting MDF is?
Yeah. So if I'm doing panels, a lot of times I'll do MDF. The reason being, I have used plywood before. You guys will be like, oh no, I've seen you use plywood. Usually it's either when the customer specifically doesn't want MDF or I can't get MDF for some reason. I'll use plywood. Problem with plywood is whatever plywood you use, it's really hard to hide the grain once you paint it. So even though you put a bunch of coats of paint on, sometimes you'll see the grain pattern of the plywood through the paint. Where with MDF, it's perfectly smooth, paints really well, and you'll get that nice, just like crisp, clean look. MDF comes in a couple different varieties depending on, so MDF is basically sawdust they add glue to and they compress it into a block. It gets a bad rap because people are thinking of the MDF you buy at Home Depot and it's really cheap stuff, and if it gets wet, it expands and flakes apart and it's horrible. MDF is graded depending upon the type of wood that they get the sawdust from. So there's like a lower density MDF that's used like softwood sawdust, and that's the crappy stuff. It's a lighter weight and they use like pine and fir and things like that. And so that's like a lower density MDF. There's a higher density where they're only using hardwood sawdust like maple and walnut and cherry and things like that. So it's way more dense, it's harder, and that's the stuff you want to use if you're building with cabinets. And you may or may not be able to get it at the big box store. You might have to go to an actual wood dealer for that. As far as painting goes, if you're using the lower density stuff, that's when you run into issues that as soon as you get, especially with a water-based paint, as soon as you spray the water-based paint on there, it's going to get fuzzy. It's going to raise up a bunch of little like fibers because the MDF doesn't like the water. So if you're painting the lower grade stuff, you basically have to spray on paint, let it dry, sand it all smooth, and then after you spray again, it should be fine. The higher density stuff, you shouldn't have that big of an issue with it. You might get a little raised grain, for lack of a better term, that you just have to hit with some steel wool or something. But for the most part, you can just paint and keep on painting. But you're going to want to sand down your first coat anyways, just to get it nice and smooth. So that's all you do. You just paint it like normal wood.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a long explanation. Ooh, my wife's calling. Let's see if she wants to be on the YouTube Live. Hello, you're on YouTube Live.
Hi, I am sorry I'm calling. I just at the grocery store and I thought I should get a turkey before they're all gone.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
Thanksgiving's coming. Okay.
Okay, so my question is, how many pounds?
What's a normal pound? Like 50?
Well, I think the biggest ones are like 20 pounds.
Oh.
50-pound turkey?
I don't know how many pounds a turkey is. Somebody says, let's see, 18, 15, 13.
200.
We got quite a few people. I would say
12.
15 to 18 pounds.
15 to 18, bigger, lean more towards bigger because
This is the most.
Yeah, this is the most interaction we've gotten so far is people recommending turkey sizes.
Can you?
Okay.
10 kilograms is an option if you see any 10 kilograms.
10 kilograms. Okay, well, I'll look and see what I can find because I was trying to think of how many people, because 2, 4, 6, 8 adults. Is that how many?
Sure, something like that. Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20.
15 to 20 pounds. Okay.
Okay.
I'll get a turkey.
All right, love ya. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, that's my wife.
Kenny Dion says ham is greater than turkey.
I agree. I voted for
agree.
ham. Who even?
Why didn't you tell her to get a ham?
I already had this conversation with her, and apparently other people want turkey, but turkey's not that good. We eat it, and it's like always dry. Even the people that are like, you haven't had my turkey. It's deep fried, and I put it in this special like brine and soak it. You have it, and you're like, it's still dry. I don't really like it.
But have you had my turkey?
No.
I do it on the Traeger.
Yeah, it's still dry.
No.
It might have a good smoky
You haven't
flavor.
had my turkey. It's
Dude,
not
I've never had a turkey that I'm like, this is amazing. I love this. Ham? Even a mediocre ham, you're like, this is pretty good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of eating, someone wanted to know what the best food we had in England was.
Let's say it at the same time.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Sunday roast, bro.
Yeah, we both said the same thing. Apparently, a Sunday roast is like a big thing over in England that we didn't know about. If you have a roast in America, it's probably a pot roast.
Yeah.
It's in a pot. It's got some
Crock
carrots,
pot.
potatoes, and some dry roast beef. Sunday roast in England is they give you like multiple different kinds of meat. It's delicious with potatoes, fried potatoes, a ton of gravy, stuffing, pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
Which is different in England than American pigs in a blanket. If you're an American and you hear pigs in a blanket, you either think pigs wrapped in pancakes or some sort of like puff pastry.
Or literally like a pig.
Or a pig wearing a blanket.
Wearing a blanket.
In England, a pig in a blanket is a sausage with bacon wrapped around it. So I think we should get our 2 pigs together and we do a sausage with a bacon with a pancake around it.
Yep. Pig in a sleeping bag.
Best of both worlds.
I don't know.
And then Yorkshire pudding. Never had that before. That's pretty delicious. It's like this weird pastry thing they fill with gravy and it's good. It's like a donut.
What I loved about English food.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It sticks to your bones.
It's all brown.
I know.
Did you notice that?
There's nothing healthy about it.
It's all brown. It's
Even
brown
the
food.
vegetables that came with that.
Brown.
The cauliflower.
Brown.
Covered in cheese.
Everything's brown.
Everything's brown.
Everything's brown.
It was good. The worst thing we had was we were at a pub and I was looking at the appetizers and there was white bait. Never heard of that. So I was like, I like to, when I go to other countries, I order things I've never heard of.
Try it.
Because you got to try it. You might find something delicious. Basically, white bait it's kind of like a sardine. It's a full fish. They deep fry it. They batter it. You eat the whole fish, bones and all. It tastes exactly like you would imagine fishing bait to smell. It's not good. Didn't love it. No. And the worst part was then, like, for the next few hours, all your burps taste like fishing bait. It was gross.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. Speaking of, we had a great time with Sam and Josie. Sam, you're watching. Sam has a question this morning.
Okay. Already.
How important is it to have your miter saw be square?
Oh, he's joking because we had a huge problem with Sam's miter saw and we couldn't get it square. And we tried multiple times to square it out. And finally, I just decided this is a crappy DeWalt miter saw, and it's never going to be square. The issue was the miter saw was set up that it had a little slot that it wanted to land in that it thought was square. Probably it was designed that way in the factory. But if it was in that slot, it wasn't square. It just needed to be slightly to the right or left. But because it wanted to be in that slot, you couldn't get it to be slightly to the right or the left because it'd fall down into that little slot, and it was annoying. So... yeah, it's important. Well, I say it's important, but we decided it's fine, and we built this whole bed with an out-of-square miter saw, and it turned out great. So
okay. Brian Jones over on Patreon wants to know. He said, probably been asked before, which I don't think it has, but does Craig have a woodworking in his background? Plenty of it.
Lots of wood in his background.
As far as my personal background, no. And I don't know why Jason hired me because I don't have a woodworking background.
I wonder that sometimes too.
And I guess I'll learn it someday if I could find somebody that will teach me.
He keeps asking me to teach him, but we've been so busy. I'll teach you. The goal for next year is you were going to build one piece of furniture, start to finish, completely by yourself. Maybe we'll do a video on it. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah. I'm going to do a slab serving board.
No, that's not a piece of furniture.
You can sit on it.
He's going to make a 1800s high boy, start to finish, with hand tools only.
Okay. We got some fun stuff coming to the merchandise line here this fall. Starting this week, these bad boys will be on the shop. And you'll see them in the next video.
Oh. Wow, that looks so exciting.
Yeah. Wait for it. That's the front.
What does that say on there? Can you read that?
Yep.
Bourbon Moth. It's just a nice little pocket print. And then on the back. Oh, and also we're working with a new manufacturer. All these are custom made for us. We got our tags in there and everything. Just for Bourbon
this is
Moth.
My favorite little thing right here.
Got a little
moth
tag on the bottom there. And then look at that.
Boom.
Ooh, on the back. Hold on a second. My contract, Alex, just came in. Alex, what's up? Oh, Craig's car's in the way. Craig,
I gotta
you go
go
move
move
your
my
car.
car.
I'll hold down the
You
fort.
hold down the fort.
All right, we're gonna do another question while Craig moves his car. Let's see here. Who's got one? Beginner woodworker here. Been getting into custom end grain cutting boards. This is from Zach Burns. What's the best way to promote my products? Started an Etsy shop and have got a lot of views, but not a lot of orders. We've talked about this before. There's a few different things that I recommend to people trying to push their products out there. Etsy's great for like having a storefront. Wherever you are locally, for small items, one of the best things you can do is contact a bunch of local real estate agencies. Because these realtors, they're trying to sell houses, right? And they're working on commission or percentage or whatever. And one of the things they like to do is when they sell a house to a young, new homeowning couple is that they give them a gift, like a housewarming gift. And so they want cool local gifts that they can buy and give to their clients. And so cutting boards are a great option for these real estate agents. And if they know you and know you make cool custom stuff, then they'll buy some boards, have them on hand, and when they sell houses, they'll dish them out. So that's a great one. They also like them for like staging houses because they look good sitting on a kitchen thing. So I would call a bunch of real estate agents because that's a good one. Other ones are make a bunch as gifts and give them to people that have lots of friends. And their friends will come over and they'll see them on the table and be like, oh my gosh, look at this cutting board. It is fantastic. Where do I get one like this?
You just change accents twice in 10 seconds.
Well, it's a multilingual person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just pretending to be.
Okay.
Anyways, stuff like that is good. The real estate agent one, though, I would try that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you pick your hardwood for a specific project? What's your process?
Are we talking like how do I pick out the lumber I'm gonna?
So you have a piece of furniture you want to build.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide? Oh, I want to go with this over this.
Oh, I ask my wife usually. Whatever she wants it to look like has a lot to do with it. I don't know. It just depends what I'm building. When I'm doing mid-century stuff, I like to kind of stick in that realm of things. You don't see a lot of mid-century like hutches made out of oak. Most of them are walnut or like a teak or something like that. Just depends what the client wants, what my wife wants.
Who is your client?
Who the client is, yeah.
Okay. You seem to, Robert would like to know, Robert Rognillion III.
Ooh, fancy.
Is he a Viking? Sounds like a Viking name. He says, you seem to work much faster than he can, which I feel like you work faster than anybody. Do you have any tips on how to increase working speed without making more mistakes or decreasing precision?
I think it just comes with time. The more things you do, you just start to kind of trust your own instincts, and you don't have to stand around so much and think about things. You can just kind of start doing. It just takes time. I haven't always worked fast. I used to work pretty slow, but I don't know. Also, setting a deadline really helps too. I always have a deadline that I have to get stuff done by because I either have a client that's waiting for it or I have to get video out. And so you got to work fast.
Okay. Let me see. Have you ever, Sean wants to know, are you going to ever use an actual CNC machine?
Probably not.
Why?
Because it's a boring video. If I was like, hey, YouTube, here's how you make this thing. Boop, 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 boop. Start. That's boring. Who wants to watch that? So probably not.
Probably everybody would love to watch it.
I had a CNC. I paid somebody else to set it up. Never learned how to use it. And then I traded it to Bits and Bits company for a bunch of free Festool stuff.
Has anyone ever told you you have a real soothing voice? Says Art something.
Yeah, people have said that.
Now, do you have your, like, because DJs have a radio voice. They're like, welcome to CNC 420. Do you have a video voice that you use, or do you think you're just talk how you normally talk?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I talk on camera and then I do voiceovers. Does it sound different?
I think you have a radio voice.
Like a change?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, if I do, it's No, I don't mean to. I don't consciously think about it.
Yeah. I like your voice.
Wow. Thanks.
We're friends. All right. How many years did you woodwork before doing it for a living?
Like 6 months,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
I mean, probably like 6 months before I started doing things that I was selling, but it wasn't like a full-time business. I didn't go full-time until maybe like a year and a half or 2 years after I started. Maybe.
Okay.
But even then, it wasn't like complicated woodworking. It was doing smaller items. And yeah.
JC Barber would like to know, how come you don't use many hand tools for all like the little detail things?
Because they take time.
It's a
And
time issue.
there's always a faster way to do it. Hand tools are great, but there's usually a quicker way to do stuff. Let's be honest. So I use them when I need to. I'll pull out my block plane quite often and use that. Chisels to clean things up. Card scrapers are super handy, and I'll use those to get in little nooks and crannies where I can't get sandpaper. But if I can do it faster with a power tool, you better believe I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Some people are sacred about their hand tools. I don't really care.
Good.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
That guy would like to know. He's on a budget but wants to start YouTubing. Good for you, that guy. What's more important, a good lapel or a good desktop microphone?
It depends how you're doing your videos. If they're like mine, where you're going to kill the sound to everything and basically 98% of the video is voiced over, then obviously a good voiceover mic. If you're not going to do that many voiceovers and you're going to be talking on camera a lot, obviously lapel mic. So it just kind of depends on how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I will say though, when you're doing YouTube on a budget, the number one most important thing is your sound quality. Your picture quality can be kind of crappy and people will still watch it. But if your sound quality is crappy, you're not going to have anyone stick around very long.
100%.
Yep.
Audio is so important.
It's true.
Case in point. I mean,
yeah,
we could.
Why we use an iPhone. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, there was a good one that I just lost. So we'll go with the second good one. Oh, how's the golf game been going?
You know, we played in England. A huge shout out to Jeff Smith.
Sam's dad.
Sam Smith's dad. He is the head groundskeeper at Abridge Country Club just outside of London. And he got us on there for free, which was awesome. He did not need to do that. We had rented clubs. So we found they didn't rent clubs at the course. So we had to find somebody where you could get clubs for hire. That's what they call it over there. And he met us at the golf course, brought us sets of clubs. We went out and played. Oh, I played about as good as I expected to play with rented clubs. What did you end up shooting? You shot 38 on the front and what on the back?
I shot a 38 on the front.
43 on the back?
42
on the back.
I shot an 80. But it was just bogeys. It was like I didn't have any blow poles. It was just I couldn't.
I shot a 45 on the front. The problem was I wasn't hitting the ball bad. The distances were throwing me off. I was hitting everything so long with those rented clubs. So it took me the whole front nine to figure out distances. By the back nine, I had it dialed in pretty good. I shot 39 on the back.
Yeah.
So with rented clubs, that wasn't terrible.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was super sloppy.
It's very rare that I beat Craig. Obviously, he beat me overall, but I did beat him on the back, which is very rare. That was rare. He's a much better golfer than I am. So,
and I was
Oh yeah, we didn't have golf shoes. The hardest part for me too. Every swing I was slipping out with my back foot. It was horrible.
Okay.
Please say zip zap zoop. My little one is watching. She loves your videos. Hey, little one, zip zap poop.
No.
Oh, now this mom or dad's gonna hate me. Zip zap zoop.
There you go.
Yeah. Eat your vegetables. Be a good child.
Brush your teeth.
And it's cool to obey your parents. If they tell you to do something, that is the right cool thing to do. So you better do it. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you gonna do any more transfer right from kids to mixed drinks? Are you gonna do any more mixed drink videos?
Here's the thing. All right. I liked doing the mixed drink videos because I like alcohol. Alcohol is not cool, children. But the thing is they just weren't that popular of videos. There were some of you guys that really liked them, and that's awesome. But for the majority, those videos didn't do great. And when you make money off of getting sponsors for your videos, they want to put their sponsorship on videos that do better. And so it just wasn't a financially viable thing to do. So we don't have any plans to do them on our main channel. We have talked about opening a completely separate channel just for fun, really, and doing drink videos. If we do that, we'll let you know.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Our buddy Colin, if you guys follow us on Instagram, you probably saw we had a friend come out, Colin, who is awesome, and he loves also cocktails and mixed drinks, and he owns a coffee shop. We might do a thing together. Maybe someday.
We'll see.
Maybe someday. Okay. We're gonna do what, like 5 more?
Yeah, let's answer some more questions.
We don't want to take up your whole morning, but we also got things to do. Okay. You haven't built a boat in a while. Come on.
No.
You've only built 2.
It's been weird.
But have you ever considered building another boat?
Yeah, absolutely. And that definitely will happen. Boats are probably one of my favorite things to build because they're crazy complicated and you have to do weird kind of woodworking to make it work. And I love it. I definitely will build another boat. I guarantee it. I don't know when, though. It's not currently on the schedule, but at some point. I know that Michael Alm and me have been talking. We really want to do a round 2 of our mini boat because now that we built one, I think we could do it and really make that thing fly.
Do like a part, like
revamp the design,
2.0.
move the cockpit forward a little bit, put a way bigger engine on there. I think we could really do a cool boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will definitely do another boat.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe like a cedar strip canoe with an engine.
I would love to do a cedar strip canoe. That would be really cool.
That'd be cool. Okay. Your like number 1 tip for somebody that's working in a small shop. Obviously, this shop did not used to be this size. It was a single garage at one point, and it's just been added onto and expanded. So you have experience working in a confined spot.
I do, especially after this last week.
Yeah. Maybe Sam can chime in a little bit. What's
the number one thing, and Sam is a great example of this, is if you have a small space, it's got to be organized and well thought out. The thing I was really impressed by at Sam's shop is it was only 6 feet by 8 feet, but every inch of that place had a purpose and was thought out. Everything was designed in a way that it could be functional, but it also was space saving. There was lots of things that like would pull out on drawers and suck back against the wall. Everything was organized. And if it started to get dirty in there, he made us stop doing everything so he could clean up. Because if it gets dirty, you're not productive. So if you got a small shop, you just got to really take some time and think through how things should be laid out. We, in this video that comes out, we do like a mini shop tour of his shop. So you're not going to want to miss that video.
Nice.
What's funny?
That.
Oh.
Funny.
Oh, the shop tour?
The shop tour. It's going to be really funny because it's 6 by 8.
It's true. I mean, it's a mini
shop tour.
It's a mini shop tour. It's like this. That's it.
Surprisingly organized. I was shocked. Okay. Human City Junction.
I will say that Noble Oak is a lot better if you add a little water to it.
Well, I'm going to have
I
to
added
have
a little
some
water.
more.
It opens it up. It takes that bite down a little bit.
What about sparkling water?
Well, then you got yourself a highball situation. Yeah. So that would be okay.
I have the wrong glass.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to let's Michael Alm maybe for the boat. Who else would you like to collaborate with in the future per video?
I'd really love to do something with Barack Obama. You know?
Yeah.
Just because he's one of the most known names in the world. And I think from a business standpoint, it would be really beneficial. Are you giving him a call? I don't know. There's a lot of cool people out there. If I ever did a cedar strip canoe, I definitely want to take a trip out to my buddy Trent's shop. I've been out there before. Cool. But just to kind of include him and pick his brain a little bit because he's really smart with that stuff. I don't know. There's a ton of people out there. If you are watching and you think we should collab, give me a call. Let's hang out. I just like people. It's so fun to
I know.
hang out. It's way more fun to do something with somebody else than by yourself. So
That's why you hired me.
yeah. And that's why this Patreon thing is so much fun, because it gives us a chance to actually go hang out. It was so fun meeting Sam and hanging out with him and his girlfriend, who, Sam, if you're watching, put a freaking ring on that finger, man. Jeez, what are you waiting for? Anyways, that's why I love these Patreon things.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do the next one and fly somebody out here, but you have to be signed up on Patreon to enter. So if you're not signed up, go sign up on Patreon.
You should. Oh, this is fun. Has your son, Ivor, made any woodworking projects?
Yeah.
Like, has he done stuff?
A lot. None like start to finish completely on his own.
So he's what, 7?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've built a lot of things together, of obvious things like weapons and little cars. And one of his favorite things to do is he'll have me hand draw like a comic book character or like a superhero on a piece of 1/4-inch plywood. And then I let him cut it out with the jigsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's all cut out, he like will paint it. That's like one of his favorite things to do. Easy, quick project to do in the shop. Yeah, but we've done that. We've made catapults.
Dude, that kid can drive a tractor like nobody's business.
It's true. He's a
7,
really good
I don't
driver.
even know. Like, it's crazy.
Well, he's been doing it since he was like 2.
My 7-year-old is really good at Mario Kart, so
Maybe that would translate.
I'm sure it would. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you think that kids that are really into Mario Kart at a young age are actually going to grow up to be really good F1 drivers?
Oh, absolutely.
Another question, follow-up. Do you think F1 would be better if they equipped the cars in a way that they could shoot things at each other?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be more
Yeah.
entertaining? I think that'd be
Absolutely.
pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
then if they had like mushrooms on the thing and they ran over them,
Yeah.
and then went 50 yards.
Nice.
50 yards farther.
Yeah.
Just 50 yards. Johan from Sweden wants a shout out.
Johan from Sweden
Yeah.
wants a shout out.
Don't do it.
Okay, I won't do it.
No.
Johan.
Shout out. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? 10 more? 5 more?
Yeah,
3 more?
do a couple more. We
Yeah.
usually try and keep this around an hour. We're 3 minutes shy. Let's do a few more questions.
Do you think mahogany will look nice on mid-century furniture? Do you personally like mahogany?
Mahogany?
Mahogany? Yeah.
Mahogany is not my favorite. It's a little red. It's okay though. I think this is mahogany right there. That's mahogany. African mahogany. Yeah, you could get away with this on mid-century. It's a little on the red side, but you could do mahogany and then you could put a darker Rubio stain on it and it would probably pass pretty close for teak, to be honest. So that could be an option.
If you guys have any also song requests for the Tin Whistle, now is the time to
Keep in mind, I only know like 4 songs.
So if you actually do one of those 4 songs, then
yeah,
Jason can play.
Make something with curly maple. No, curly maple's ugly and should be used only exclusively if you're 65 years or older.
Have you ever thought about making an instrument? Do you think you can make one of these?
Yeah, I bet you could.
You might have to use a hand tool.
Yeah, maybe
for this. Wouldn't be that hard. Any tips on working with rosewood?
Watch out, because every rose has its thorns, and every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. So I've never worked with rosewood. I know it's pretty expensive, isn't it? I know a lot of luthiers making guitars like rosewood.
Yeah.
It's about all I know about it. I don't think rose trees actually have thorns, do they? I don't know.
Watch that one show.
I don't have anything morally against, I should say, exotic woods if they're sourced in the right way. So it's not that reason. I just really like working with local species. I just think it's, I don't know. So I don't do a lot of exotic stuff.
Okay. Danner Naff's got a question. He says he's getting into woodworking as a weekend warrior. Good job. My main saw is a circular saw, and I'd like to get into more projects. So should he prioritize a table saw or a miter saw to cover his bases? Where to invest the money?
It's a good question. And it's another one that comes back to, it really depends on the type of things that you're doing. If it's more DIY 2x4 construction, planter boxes, outdoor furniture, stuff like that, I would probably say a miter saw. If you're doing more like higher end furniture, things like that, I would say table saw. You can pretty much do everything with the table saw that you can do with a miter saw, plus about a zillion other things. I think it's more multifunctional, especially if you get a table saw and then you make a good crosscut sled. Well, then you really can get away without using a miter saw at all. So that's what I would say, probably table saw. I always say if I was trapped on a desert island and I had access to 220 power and I could only bring one tool, it would be the table saw. You could pretty much build anything you want just with a table saw.
Okay. We're going to do a few rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire, go.
Okay. Tyler B says T-Track or MFT?
T-Track or MFT? Probably MFT.
Yes. Derek says, am I a real man if I like gin better than bourbon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Craig likes gin
I like
better
gin.
than bourbon.
And I have hairier arms than you.
Okay. Sure. Gin's fine.
Okay.
But I would say I follow that up with try barrel-aged gin, because then at least it's the same color as bourbon. And honestly, barrel-aged gin is amazing.
Okay. Lucas says, how are Craig's sanding skills?
They're actually pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Wham2B says, why are you so awesome?
Well, you know.
Okay, let's go to another one.
Yeah.
Keith wants to know how he enjoyed the UK. It was great. You have to go rewatch the show.
Yeah.
What are your views on laser work with the scenes? We already talked about that one too.
Laser work's cool.
Whose beard is better?
Mine.
Glue for hot pads.
Glue for hot pads?
Okay, I think it's glue like for hot surfaces. So maybe like a certain cutting board or like if.
Oh.
Would you recommend glue? Which glue has the best heat resistance? Maybe.
I would guess epoxy would probably. I'm sure there's a rating on the glue that says how hot it can get. Okay. I know like hide glue is a no-go because they make that specifically so that you can heat it up and reactivate the glue and take things back apart if you need to. So don't use hide glue. Tight bond is the same way. If you get that stuff hot enough, it will reactivate. Uh-huh. I only know that because I burn a lot of things and I watch the glue pop apart when it gets too hot. That's a good question. I don't know.
That's a good question. We thought about doing like another joint test video because that one we had a lot of things that we would like to redo on. Maybe we should do a glue test video.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Like do all different sort of scientific things and whatnot. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
Anything else?
Anything else? I don't know. Oh, I would just say, like, if you guys like this, we do this every single Monday.
Every Monday morning.
For our top tier patrons.
You can watch it. And not only that, if you're top tier, you can enter the contest. So we could come out to your shop and you can be in a video and build a piece of furniture. The way that contest works, if we come out to your shop, okay, we fly out. You don't have to host us. We're not staying at your house. We'll get a hotel or an Airbnb. We fly out. We're with you for as much time as you have available to build a piece of furniture. We give you $1,000 for materials. So that pretty much covers all the wood that you need. And you don't have to have any specialty tools. Whatever you have, we make work for the project. And it's a lot of fun. Ask Sam. It was a blast. And then if we fly you out here, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But obviously, we'd pay your airfare, all your expenses. We'd put you up in a hotel. You don't have to stay in my bedroom or anything weird like that. But yeah, it'd be fun. They could hang out with us for 5 days or whatever and build something. Okay. Show you around Oregon. We'll do 2 of those a year. But you got to be signed up on Patreon. Plus, you get to live stream. And you guys get first access to every YouTube video ad-free.
Yep.
You get discount codes for the website, for merchandise.
20% off, actually, which is, I feel like it's
20% off anything on the website. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Links are all down there. So, and if you haven't followed us on Instagram, our link's down there to Instagram too. We've been pretty active on there lately.
Down there. down there.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll do this again in another few months.
Yeah, and this coming Saturday, the England video is coming out. So don't miss that. It's going to be really, really fun one because that was a great trip. So until next time, we'll see all of our patrons over on Patreon next Monday morning.
Absolutely. And for those of you that we didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. Maybe next time, eh?
Don't put your mouth on another person's tin whistle. Yuck.
So long,
you're
everybody.
Supposed to end the live stream.
Okay, well,
how long do I have to actually play?
I thought you were enjoying yourself.
No, I play and then you end it. You're making me go on forever.
I'm sorry. Man, see what I have to put up with every day.